So some huge things happened today, because I told you guys that Trump is going to address the nation, right? And usually when a president addresses the nation, something big happens. But the crazy thing is that Trump addressing the nation is the least important thing that happened today. It's basically a waste of time, but the other things are crazy, because Trump actually gave two speeches today. The official one that he's addressing the nation in, and another speech that was not supposed to be recorded. That one is crazy. Plus, also today we have the historic NASA mission that's going to the moon for the first time in over 50 years. Plus, the UK's and Australia's prime ministers addressed the nation today. What was up with them? Like, why today? But let's start with the big one, or the one that everyone thought would be a big one, but it's kind of disappointing.
My fellow Americans, good evening.
Because we're starting with Trump addressing the nation. And usually, when presidents say we're going to address the nation, it's something serious. Especially that he said he's going to address the nation about the war in Iran. So everyone was like, okay, wow, something big is going to happen. Even I said that in yesterday's video. I was like, oh, he may end the war. He may escalate it by sending ground troops, right? Everyone had their theories. But then, in his speech, all he said was basically praise himself.
Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly.
And he said his famous words, we won the war, for like, I don't know how many times, right? He said it in the speech.
But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big.
Plus, he said that he's going to be attacking Iran fiercely in the next few weeks. Again, something that he's been writing in his tweets.
We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And he said that the war with Iran is supposed to end soon, okay?
If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously.
Again, all of those stuff are stuff that we've been seeing in his tweets. Nothing special, nothing crazy. Like, seriously, this could have been an email, like, or do it in a tweet or whatever. Like, why make a big deal out of it and say, oh, I'm gonna address the nation? And to be honest with you guys, that's basically the summary of it. There's nothing special about it. He's just repeating what he's been saying in his tweets and whatever, right? So that one is not important. Let's get rid of that. The one that's actually important is one that wasn't supposed to get recorded at all. Because today, the White House had an Easter lunch, okay? And Trump invited his close people who are close to him. No media, okay? There wasn't supposed to be media there, so no media companies, no news channels, nothing. And Trump gave a speech there. Again, that wasn't supposed to be recorded, but it was recorded. I don't know why they recorded it, maybe for their own purposes, or maybe like they wanted to keep it for any reason. I don't know, but they recorded it, okay? The thing is, someone from the White House actually uploaded that speech. I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if that was a mistake. It's supposedly not supposed to be uploaded, okay? Like, even the White House removed that video later, right? Like, after they realized that, damn, we should not have uploaded that. But they removed that video of Trump's speech. And thing is, guys, this speech has all the tea. Has all the weird, crazy stuff. Not the addressing the nation one, no. This speech that wasn't supposed to be uploaded. Let's go through some stuff that he said in that speech that's actually mind-blowing. Because one of the things is that he said that I'm gonna tell everyone how great I am. Yeah, Trump said that. He said, tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock. And basically I'm gonna tell everyone how great I am. And what a great job I've done. What a phenomenal job. What a phenomenal job I've done. Wow.
And tonight I'm making a little speech at 9 o'clock. And basically I'm going to tell everybody how great I am. What a great job I've done.
And obviously everyone was laughing because those people who were invited were supposed to be his close friends or aides. I don't know who he invited, to be honest with you. But yeah, everyone was just laughing. Seriously, in this speech, whatever he said, people would just laugh. And some stuff weren't even funny, to be honest with you. But they would just laugh. You know, he's the president after all. But then the next big thing that he said is that he's thinking of taking Iran's oil. As he said, we could just take their oil, but you know, I'm not sure that the people in our country have the patience to do that. Which is kind of weird. So he's just talking freely about taking Iran's oil.
We could just take their oil, but you know, I'm not sure that the people in our country have the patience to do that.
And he mentioned that the war is going to be over in 3 days, which I don't know where he's getting this number from, but 3 days. So he said that on April 1st, supposedly April 4th, the war is going to be over. Well, according to Trump, okay? But another big thing that he said, and that one actually made headlines today, everyone was talking about it, because Trump actually mentioned that he's considering leaving NATO. Yeah, NATO, that has 32 countries in them, and they have the promise of if one country gets attacked, all the countries in NATO are going to help that country and attack the country that attacked the country. Wow, I made it confusing. Okay, basically, if one country attacks a NATO country, all NATO countries will work together against the attacking country. Okay? That's been going on for years, since like 1949. It's been a huge alliance, and everyone's been talking about it. And some people are saying that that's the reason there hasn't been huge wars since, and that's the reason like Russia's attacking Ukraine, because Russia also doesn't want Ukraine to be in NATO. A big thing. So NATO is big, okay? But according to Trump, NATO is not doing enough, because he's thinking that NATO is just depending on the US, which is a little true. There is some truth in that. Like, the US is doing so much to NATO because the US has the biggest army. They spend the most on their army, right? And on their military. So they do spend a lot. And NATO countries do use the US's nuclear bombs, for example. Like, they do have them in stock, right? So a lot of NATO countries depend on the US. But the thing is, Trump is upset of NATO. Why? Well, because Trump asked the NATO countries to join him in the war in Iran, and the NATO countries were like, yeah, no, we're not going to join. We have countries like the UK, France, Spain, Germany, all of them saying, no, we're not joining. Especially Spain was like, yeah, you're not even using our airspaces now. Yeah, Spain was like very straightforward. They're like, you're not using our airspaces. This war is illegal. What you're doing is messed up, okay? So Trump is seeing all that, seeing all of his allies, and he's like, you know what? I don't like NATO anymore. I don't want to be in it. But he's considering it. He didn't formally apply for it. But thing is, even if he wanted to get out of NATO, he couldn't. Because there's a law that says if the US wants to get out of NATO, the Congress has to vote for it. And even if Congress voted, they still have to wait a whole year until they leave NATO. So it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be easy. But still, the fact that Trump is even considering leaving NATO is huge, right? Like, European countries are now scared because what's going to happen next? Like, Russia will be, now I can attack European countries however I like because the US is not defending them, right? And it's going to do whatever. That's what European countries are worried about. So yeah, Trump leaving NATO is one of the biggest things that happened today. Or Trump wanting to leave NATO, at least. He didn't leave yet, right? He's considering it.
We've had some very bad allies in NATO. And, you know, we spend trillions of dollars on NATO. And when we need them, blasted the hell out of them.
And there's another thing that he said in his speech that got a lot of people really mad. Because he said that we're fighting wars so we cannot take care of daycare.
We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars.
And Trump was like, oh, the states should pay for daycare. You know, daycare where people send their kids to go there while people are at work, right? So daycare is important. But Trump was like, let the states deal with that. And if they want, they should raise the taxes so that they can send people to daycare. Crazy. He's focused more on wars than he's focused on families. Like, and he's been complaining. He actually complained before about the population decreasing in the US, okay? What do you think? Like, if you're not helping families with daycares, if you're not helping families have more kids, people won't have kids. And that's why the population is decreasing, right? That's a big issue. So he's now focused more on wars, pretty useless wars, right? Rather than helping like daycares, which is kind of messed up. And I understand why people are mad about that. For the last point, because I don't want to be rambling on about that speech, that one is a little weird because he said that Macron's wife, you know Macron, France's president, yeah, he said that his wife treats him badly. No idea why, right? No idea why.
France, Macron, whose wife treats him extremely badly.
Maybe he has some drama with her. I don't know what happens. He did talk about Macron a little bit. But the fact that he mentioned his wife and mentioned that she treats him badly, why do you do that? What kind of president says that? But yeah, that was the big speech of today. But moving on from that story, we're going to be talking about a bigger one. A story that everyone has been talking about today. And it's NASA finally going back to the moon. Because NASA's sending their first moon mission since December 1972, okay? It's been a while. And they sent 4 astronauts this time, Reed Wiseman, who's the commander, Victor Clover, the pilot, Christina Koch, and a Canadian actually this time, Jeremy Hansen. And the mission is supposed to last 10 days, but thing is, I thought those astronauts are gonna land on the moon. But no, I was actually wrong. They are just gonna be orbiting the moon. So apparently, the first 2 days, they will stay near the Earth and they're gonna be testing everything, okay? And then after that, they're gonna fire the engines and go towards the moon, okay? And then on day 5, they will enter the moon's gravity zone. They will just do a loop-de-doop around the moon and then fly pretty close to the moon and then come back, okay? I don't know. To be honest, I thought they're gonna land on the moon. It's gonna be another moon landing, but no. And guys, because they're not landing on the moon, that raised so many conspiracy theories online, right? Because people were like, wow, so 2026 and they're not even landing on the moon? How did they land on the moon in 1972? And people have been saying that the moon landing is fake, that didn't happen. How could they do it 50 years ago, but they couldn't do it now, right? Makes sense. It's a lot of conspiracy theories. I'm not going to get into that, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the moon landing is real or not? That's a big debate. Anyway, the mission, which is Artemis 2, launched safely. The rocket left. Actually, guys, there was a little problem that happened about 51 minutes in because apparently astronauts could hear Earth, right? But people on Earth couldn't hear the astronauts, and for a little bit, people were worried. They were like, oh my god, that's a big issue. But then NASA confirmed that the spacecraft is safe, communications came back, so everything's good now. And they're on their way to do their mission. So good luck to them. It's a historic moment still, even though they're not landing on the moon. It's still historic. And let's go to the next story. For the next story, we're still in America. We didn't leave America, but because Trump actually made history today because he became the first sitting president to attend a Supreme Court hearing. Why? Because basically Trump signed an executive order last year saying that people born in the US should not get the citizenship, which is mind-blowing, okay? This is actually the 14th Amendment. It's been in the Constitution for like 100 years. It's a huge thing, right? People are used to it. If you're born in the US, you get the citizenship. But Trump was like, no, we should remove that. It's going to help like fight illegal immigration. I don't know how that's gonna help, but anyway, that whole thing went to the Supreme Court and Trump actually attended. Anyway, it was basically the government or Trump's government telling the Supreme Court how they should remove that law. The Supreme Court wasn't really excited about it. That's what it seemed like. Even Trump wrote a tweet, like this tweet after, showing that he wasn't really happy about the Supreme Court, okay? But so far, the Supreme Court didn't decide. They didn't say yes or no about it, so we gotta see. But honestly, if he removed that, if he removed birthright citizenship, that would be wild. But for the next story, we're still in the US, sorry, because Trump actually wants to fire Pam Bondi. You know Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, the one who's been very, very popular. She's been in headlines a lot during the Epstein Files release, right? Because she basically said stuff and then she changed her mind later about that same stuff, right? Anyway, Trump is gonna fire her. Apparently the big mistake that Pam Bondi did was saying that there is no Epstein client list, which is big, right? And that made people kind of confused. And then she said, oh, she meant documents, not list. And because of that, Trump, I guess, got upset at her.
That there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
I don't know, but as we know, no one is talking about the Epstein files anymore because now we have the war with Iran. Maybe that's the reason we have the war. Anyway, Trump actually now is thinking of replacing Pam Bondi with someone named Lee Zeldin, okay? And apparently all that is private. We got that from reports, but it's still big because Pam Bondi has been a huge supporter of Trump, okay? But now he wants to fire her. And honestly, I'm not against it. She's been saying some stuff about the Epstein files, saying a lot of stuff that haven't been true. So honestly, yeah. We will see what's going to happen. Actually, before leaving America, I was willing to leave America, but there is one story that I forgot to tell you about because Trump, in his speech that I told you about earlier, the private speech, he told Erica Kirk to sue Gursky over his skit. You know the skit that he did where he walks out showing how conservative women act, right? And his makeup, perfect, to be honest. Yeah, so Erica Kirk actually said that she wants to sue him over that because, well, I don't know, because it looks like her. Even though Drewski did not say her name, he did not mention her at all, but she just saw his makeup and she's like, oh my god, that looks like me. Anyway, Trump in his speech said that you should sue him.
I think you should sue him, but I told her, you ought to sue somebody. They're so jealous of Erica.
I just had to mention that. Crazy. Anyway, for the next story, let's actually go to the UK. Because I told you that Keir Starmer had a speech where he addressed the nation. Basically, in the speech, he was telling people that if you're worried about the war, don't worry. This is not our war. We're not joining. Perfect.
This is not our war.
Okay. That's basically it. Honestly, he was just relieving the people, telling them that we're not joining the war. Good stuff. But then we go to Australia because Anthony Albanese, Australia's Prime Minister, also addressed the nation. But this one he didn't mention joining the war or not joining at all. No. He was mentioning how bad the situation is with gas and oil prices, right? And he was telling people, like, be careful, don't drive too much, be careful of the oil. Yeah, that's basically it. He's worried about fuel prices because of the war. Honestly, simple speeches. I don't know if those speeches are addressing the nation kind of speeches, right? But at least they're simple. And they didn't just talk about themselves like Trump did. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. And again, if you want me to talk about any specific stories, let me know in the comments. I love you all. And I will